one of the other problems with the trans community that I have is that it's a door that can never be closed now, especially when you start putting things into law.
Oh, when you mean like some people come. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, like, so, and it's not to say that, I'm sure a small percentage, and I believe it would be very small, have done their inner work, have healed their trauma, and truly believe and feel that it would make their life better to do body modification, which it is basically all it is.
No, I agree. Some people...
So, yeah. And but those people are few and far between in that community, at least the way that the media portrays it. So for those people that have done the work, healed the trauma, gone through everything, really put some thought and effort into it, and then make that decision, go nuts. But it shouldn't be covered by healthcare.
Yep.
And you should never be able to reverse it. I think you should put those two, if they're going to push that kind of legislation, it's not going to be covered, so you have to work your ass off. You have to pay for it if you want it. If I want a nice car, fucking healthcare doesn't pay for it for me.
Why the fuck would...
Well, you know what I mean? Like, you have to work to pay for that. If, like, we have all these ridiculous programs, like, in the healthcare system that support people, free needle exchange. And, again, marketed as, we're keeping clean needles and people with disease, and we're helping keep all those numbers down. But my fucking auntie is like 65 years old, worked all her life, and she has to pay for all of her own shit. But you'll give free fucking needles to people who don't give a fuck about anything anymore?
That's because it's like false socialism.
Yeah, it's gross. But again, it shouldn't be covered. I don't believe that it should ever be covered. Like, you were given what you were given. You should be happy with that. If you want to go to this next stage, you should have to pay for it, and you should never be able to reverse it.
You're still talking about transgender?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, okay. I agree with you in a general sense, okay? Yeah. So you have to keep in mind that there is a very slim percentage of people who are transgender that genuinely have gender dysphoria, right? Yeah. It's a mental health problem. As much as they want to say it's not, it is.
Yeah. Well, and gender dysphoria is a super common thing that almost everybody on the planet goes through.
Well... You mean at a young age? And I'm talking about
to a certain degree.
I'm talking about like in the DSRM, like the mental health thing. There's an unbelievably small percentage of people that genuinely have gender dysphoria. Most of the people who are transitioning don't have gender dysphoria. They have something like autism or something, right?
Yeah. Or severe trauma.
Or severe trauma, some bullshit, right? They're not actually transgender. Now, the people who are in that very small percentage, I feel like they should be covered by HOEP because we cover all other mental health problems, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a constitutional thing in Canada where we will cover people's
mental health issues.
Well, in this case, where people who have
that line is blurry and broken as fuck. That line doesn't mean shit. The lack of resources and funds for people, no.
The way it's implemented is shit. No. Okay. No. The ones who genuinely have who have
gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria, it's not a choice. It's a mental problem. The wires are crossed improperly. Yeah. The autistic ones who think have it, them it's a choice. Them it's because their parents, their teachers, the media they consume, fucking Tumblr keeps fucking hammering home that they're like, you're transgender. You're transgender. Yeah. Do you like drinking green tea? Guess what? That means you're transgender. No, you fucking idiot. No, but that's seriously what they go by. But those people shouldn't be covered.
That's one of the problems with this situation is because you can't weed that out. And that's what it goes back to.
You can weed it out if you have psychiatrists in front of them testing them.
Yeah, but what if that psychiatrist has a bias to the transgender
Scrap
community?
him.
How would you know that psychiatrist? Because for all intents and
purposes... Look at his percentage rate.
What if he's a narcissist? He's going to know what he's doing, or she will know how to manipulate the system.
But they'll have a percentage rate of, okay... Say like you should. Okay, so we know that I don't know what the actual statistic is, but it's something like 0.00 a number.
It's super fucking
has transgenderism, right? Or
transgenderism,
whatever the fuck you want to call it. Gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria. I like transgenderism. That's fun.
So we know that it's a percentage like that. So if you got two psychologists, right?
Yeah.
And one of them has like a percentage of like 25% of the people they go through ends up getting it, guess what? They have a bias and they're not good for the job.
Yeah, but again, but that argument would just keep expanding. So then they would just approach and be like, I know the statistics say this, but I just been hitting home runs every time.
I've just been hitting trannies.
Yeah, it's just, I don't get to pick the cases. They fall into my lap.
No, that doesn't.
But that's how the system in the world works. That's how it would go. If he had a bias to it and someone came in and this is going to really make me feel better, or someone knows how to manipulate him.
If he's a psychologist and he can be manipulated by someone who has autism or is some sort of sick pervert that is like a sexual thing, there's a lot of people that it is a sexual thing for them. Then he's a very, very bad psychologist and shouldn't even be. I wouldn't even know how they would get a degree in that shit.
But I mean, there's bad psychologists that exist all over.
100% Yeah.
But again, so and who's gonna? There's too many steps adding into this, and that's why I get what you're saying, where it's not their choice, it's a mental health issue, and it should be covered, but it's a hard line to walk, but also fuck off. We don't have the resources and the money to have some therapy.
Well, then
to get them to be able to find an avenue to get to that transition, to be able to financially do it.
How is therapy going to help them with that?
To be able to exist in the life and move forward so you can be a productive member of society, have a great career, set up your fucking savings account. Here's who you call. You can have channels like that. So when you're ready, you can go here and get your stuff done.
Okay, but then your argument, you're saying my argument has too many steps and all that kind of stuff, but then your argument can be deconstructed the other way, where now it's just okay, well, we don't help these people, so we shouldn't help any people.
No, I think the help across the board should be the same. You should have somebody to talk to, and give you tools and resources to manage
You're saying that someone who has something like chronic depression, not caused by an outside influence, someone it's caused by I don't fucking know, just the chemicals in their brains aren't wired properly, who literally can't get out of bed, we shouldn't give them any meds whatsoever.
No, you know what should be done is start using a culture and a society based on healthy eating and exercise, because that's statistically the biggest advantage and cure-all for fucking depression. And most other diseases.
But it's because also that's the thing, is you're not counting all the different forms where these things can come from, right? A lot of people have depression because all they do is play video games all day, don't exercise, and have a horrible diet. They develop depression. But that's not the same type of depression as someone who has a chemical imbalance in their brain.
Yeah.
Right?
But both those cases, they get antidepressants.
Yes.
Okay, so then the transgender person gets antidepressants.
What? No.
Yeah, you're upset about what your body's like? Here's some antidepressants. Carry on. But this will fix the chemicals in your brain.
No, it won't. That's not how it works.
That's how it works. We talked about this. It shuts off the receptors in your brain. This is part of your weed talk.
Yeah, it is.
With antidepressants.
Yeah.
It shuts off those, and it would be the same thing. So none of you, all of these people, and again, that's the system we have now with all of these conditions, is we give you prescription medication to turn your brain off.
No, well, okay.
Yes,
but no. So the way it's supposed to be done is because the people don't go and follow up, and there's also a lot of doctors that are pill pushers by the big pharma.
So the system, and again, that goes back to the system being the problem.
But if your whole argument is the system, I know, right? Your whole argument is the system is broken, thus fuck everyone.
No, the system is broken, thus build a new system.
But that's not what you're saying, though.
It absolutely is. I said build a new system based on healthy eating and exercise.
I'm agreeing with you with that, but I'm saying that doesn't work for all cases. So what I'm saying,
nothing will work for if you try and please everybody loses.
It's not about a pleasing thing. It's
absolutely that would be the most effective treatment, and it would weed out most of the people that have gender dysphoria and who are just stuck in a fucking trauma circle.
Well, it wouldn't weed out the autistic ones. The autistic ones wouldn't understand.
I think you're underrating the power of autism.
No, I'm not. In fact, I know very much the power of autism. I know what it's capable of. I'm looking at you, Elon. See, that's what happens when you give someone who's autistic and has it under control and can use it as a superpower.
Focus it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of them can't because they have shitty parents, no money, and have no social skills, and they're convinced They're a fucking dog.
Oh my god. Anyway, I think we're at an impasse because like I stand strong on like my system and then build off of that accordingly. Because the system that we have currently, not just for people with trans dysphoria or gender dysphoria,
Trans dysphoria.
Too many
I hate them all.
I hate them all. Anyway, all mental health conditions and like the system sucks for all of those people across.
What about people with Down syndrome?
That's like apples and oranges. And again, using a super hyper specific fucking argument to try and prove.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
Absolutely, you're using a fucking edge, fucking group or class to prove a point about all of these people fall in the same umbrella, and they fucking don't.
I know they don't, but you're saying that the basis for everything should be go exercise and go whatever.
Yeah.
And have a good diet.
Yeah.
Right? But it right off the bat, that like cuts it to strictly people who like have things like depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
And those like the three musketeers.
Musketeers?
Yeah.
We've been way too much into the trans community.
I know. Yeah. The three musketeers of mental health problems now.
Yeah.
Which I agree, those ones can be fixed with just get off the fucking internet.
Well, even things like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, like it's more than just those things.
I have something super cool about that. Dude, go,
Yeah,
finish your thought.
Again, like it's not isolated. I think having a structure that's staying away, and again, you can't fucking weed out pill pushing doctors. There's a pile of them. We know, like a friend of ours who's had to deal with them and taking advantage of somebody that's mentally ill.
Yeah.
Again, but if you build somebody up and we live in a society that's nurturing and caring, and they genuinely have gender dysphoria. And, like, it's not a fad. It's not something that they're dealing with because they haven't healed trauma, or it's not clout chasing or some bullshit. Like, it's genuinely a problem.
Clout chasing? They're like a rapper.
Well, that's what they do. Like, people for clicks and views are now supporting a community or pushing a narrative they have no idea about to get clicks.
Yeah.
And they're being inflammatory to get clicks.
Yeah.
But there's no insight. There's no communication. We have super diverse groups of people, and we've talk to all of them, and we're good friends with a lot of them, and from like every walk of life, and we have conversations with those people. But again, like that group of people would be like the group of intersex people. Calm. I almost got dyslexic. Clam. But like that's like talking about intersex people. We would be the only ones that have an Tender. The fucking gayest sweethearts I've ever seen.
What's going on in here?
They should be little butt cheeks. But like that's like making the argument for intersex people. Again, like that's a fraction. Well, just
they make up an even smaller group.
But that's what I mean. It's this super hyper small group of people, and like the only ones that have any kind of argument for those groups would be some people from the intersex community because the hormones in their brains are fucked, and again, some people that have gender dysphoria because for the same reason. But by giving them the tools and treating them as a baseline human and dealing with humanity on its own, as opposed to fucking focusing on what your sex is the defining characteristic of your life, that's what the problem is. Stop focusing on your but that's where the therapy comes in. It's to train you that you are the way you are right now is perfect, and that you're capable of doing and accomplishing anything in your life and it doesn't need to be attached to your identity on a gender level. It's attached to your experience as a human, and you can grow through that. And if you get through that process and you've developed all these skills and you decide, I still want to cut my penis off or turn it inside out or have one sewn on, you have all of the skills to move forward in your life.
I like that because we tried to film this one before. Yeah. You had time to reflect on all the things you said, and now you're coming back with like you just reinforced your arguments that you had originally.
I was like beefing it up at home on the way. Like, fuck you, Patrick, piece of shit. I'm gonna win.
Yeah. And then you shit I say.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. We filmed this before, but it got lost, and we had to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
total transparency.
Yeah.
Stop. Would you pay attention? Stop reading your. They're not. It's not fortune cookies.
Global
warming.
Carry
on.
I agree with you with the thing about exercise and that kind of stuff should be the first thing. I also know that it doesn't work for every single case. I think therapy should be available for everyone.
I think therapy should be available for everyone.
Should it be covered? Should it be covered?
Therapy?
Yeah.
Therapy, yes. Gender reassignment surgery? No.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Gender reassignment surgery is a surgery and it's not therapy.
Well, being shot and you go under surgery.
So if you want it covered, shoot your dick off. Okay. If you were willing to make that sacrifice and be like, someone fucking shot my dick off, better get it just removed. Go nuts.
No, but it's because your words were, it's a surgery, so it shouldn't be covered. So I was just like, well.
Because it's not therapy.
No, I agree it's not therapy.
Oh, then what are we still... And to be fair, and so that you feel validated and know that I was listening to you, I agree that it wouldn't be for every case. But that would be something you would have to build off after.
Yeah, you have to weed them out.
I agree. And then cross that bridge. See how those fuckers do when they're healthy. They're eating good. They feel good about themselves as they are.
We're very hypocritical telling people to eat good while we're eating candy.
I'm happy with my body.
Me too.
I don't give a shit. This is the perk of being comfortable in your own skin.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go home and crush a fucking pizza and drink like 8 cans of pop. And I smoke cigarettes all the time, so my days are numbered anyway. I don't give a shit.
All I could think of is just like, wow, he's not going to live long, is he?
Just take care of my dog, that's all. But anyway, and then to the more major, this is the biggest point for the door that can't be closed. Because once we saw transgender, then it became transracial and then transabled. And
Which is funny.
And
That's a ridiculous level where it's funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's the same thing. Because it would have the same argument as it's a mental health condition for transabled people.
That's the autistic people.
There's nothing to say that those people, again, a sliver of the percentage, can't actually have their wires crossed in the form that they believe that they are, in fact, transracial or transabled.
Well, that would... Okay.
I'm excited for this. Go.
Okay. So you do know that I studied this, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So you can do the transgender thing, right? You can, the wires cross thing. That's a thing with there. When it comes to transable or transracial or transanimal or whatever.
Yeah, is it it was trans species?
It's trans species. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, it's a
That's the next big fucking...
So that falls under a different category in the DSRM. Being transgender is its own thing. That other stuff is another thing. It's, if I remember correctly, it's under the spectrum of autism, and in some cases it's considered like a form of schizophrenia.
Ooh.
Well, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Because like they believe it's delusions.
Would you agree then that it's still a mental health issue?
Yes.
And then so someone who is of a color and wants to change their color, that should be paid for them under your eyes?
No, because
That's
not
the exact same thing as my
No,
argument.
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because it's not the same type of mental health problem. It's a different mental health problem.
But it's still a mental health problem.
It's still a mental health problem, but it's a different one. If someone's schizophrenic and believes there are demons hanging from the fucking ceiling, is the solution to give them a gun so they can shoot them? Because that's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that all of that shit is like, that's why it has to be built on my system. My system's better.
You're just saying your system is better and ignoring arguments that like poke holes in it.
No.
Yes.
No, and I even turned around and said I agree with you that there would be certain cases that you would have to deal with case by case.
I agree with you on your system.
At no fucking way on heaven or hell will I ever say that reassignment surgery based on mental health conditions should be covered by OHIP. That is fucking insane. Unless they want to have a fucking free doctor, but I'm not paying fucking more money because that will come out of taxpayers. Oh, we have this program. Guess what, Matt? You're gonna have to start paying $5 more a fucking week. No, fuck you. If they have a benefits plan or a fucking medical package that they are paying into, that's also different. if they're working and paying into a medical plan that covers that, go ahead.
Well,
but that is different than me coming in off
Is
the
it
street.
actually HOAP that covers it though?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But that's my point is that I'm not paying for it. That's the whole thing.
I understand that you're not paying for it.
If they have a business and the business has insurance and a benefits package and it offers gender reassignment surgery, go to fucking town.
Okay.
But I'm not paying for it.
Okay.
That's the whole
I understand that you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time explaining to you the difference between the two because because
of if it's we're doing this like morality compass of mental health, and if you're mentally,
it's not a morality compass.
Well, with the depression and anxiety and those,
I think those ones are made up.
I don't.
You don't think those ones are made up?
No, not at all.
They can be to me, a mental health problem is something that cannot be fixed from an outside influence of like generality. So if you can fix the problem you have with exercise, good dieting, and that kind of stuff, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, again, like that's stripping away. Like therapy is still part of that system.
Therapy's on the medical side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but that again would be a cure-all for almost all of those things.
Therapy's not a cure-all. Therapy only works a very low percentage of the time.
Therapy with the right system, with diet and exercise, and like good therapy, a good psychologist would fix a lot of issues. We pretend that it won't because we are not familiar with a system that doesn't act like that. We are familiar with a system that is based solely on drugs. But again, and like stats have shown, fresh, unlike Patrick's penis. What's that one? I can't see because of the light. Novice, damn it! No, I got fucked on that one. But again, it's our whole system, and what we see and what we know and what we've experienced is, especially in the West, is based on medication.
Yeah, which is a problem because then it justifies certain mental health problems that can be fixed with super basic shit. Right? I'm not talking about the ones that can fix with super basic shit. That's why I'm saying anxiety, depression, all those like little token ones are made up and should be just ignored. And your system would do fantastic dealing with those ones.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm just like, I'm all for your system to weed out those fuckers, right? Get rid of them. We don't care. I'm talking about someone who has schizophrenia. I'm talking about someone who suffers from delusions. I'm talking about someone who, I don't fucking know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking about those ones. Right? Those ones, you can put someone who has schizophrenia in therapy as much as you want.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix it. Ever.
Yeah.
Because it's...
But again, like schizophrenia also has a scale.
It does have a scale, yeah. Mm-hmm. But the scale, again, can't be fixed with therapy.
Then what do you do with people that are violently schizophrenic?
You have to pill them up.
And where do they go?
They can integrate into society once they're pilled up.
I know you're right. Like, and I've seen those reports, but there's also people who have been integrated back into society with their medication and done horrendous fucking things.
That's because they're off their medications, or those people need to be followed, right? They need years of like constant supervision.
I think we should dive into that world like on its own episode.
I agree.
I think it would be awesome.
I think so, yeah.
Where are we at right now? I didn't want to pay for transgender stuff, and we're trying to relate schizophrenic people to the gender dysphoria.
It's because you're saying you don't want to pay for reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with you like not wanting to pay for reassignment surgery. I don't believe most of the people who are getting reassignment surgery are even transgender, right? So I'm essentially agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But then I'm saying the only thing we're arguing about is I'm just like for the people I'm talking about the people who are followed for like 5-10 years by a psychiatrist, and it's just like undoubtedly they have their trans whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I'm saying that those people should
Have it covered?
Have it covered to some degree, maybe not a whole thing. Because
okay, 20%. You twisted my arm.
Well, it's true. HOEP doesn't cover. If you go in for like back surgery or something, HOEP doesn't cover everything unless it's like a life or death situation.
Covers pretty much fucking nothing. It's garbage.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with WSIB. It's dog shit.
Yeah. Well, WSIB is just there to make sure they like to cover their asses, not to help you.
Yeah.
So fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck WSIB.
Fuck OSHA.
Yeah. OSHA doesn't know nothing.
OSHA shit!
I saved you up for like 5 years. Yeah, what a bunch of garbage. Little orange book is toilet paper and filter. That's
Fuck that thing, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't know nothing.
People want to burn Bibles and Qurans. No. Burn the OSHA violation.
Burn the OSHA violation. Yeah. Oh, that took a weird turn.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, I still, no. No, it's a no for me. Anything that involves fucking elective surgery is out. For treatment.
What's elective surgery?
Like choosing it.
Oh, like choosing to change something. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna argue with you. I just want to know where your line is. So like,
it's right at the door.
It's right at the door.
Like if you want breast implants, no.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the same fucking thing.
Well, not necessarily. What if
100%?
Well,
I'm unhappy with my body.
Hold on. If someone who has breast cancer has to have their breast cut off, will it be covered for them them to get implants?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why?
Because they're.
What the fuck? Why? You just said they're not happy with their body. What the fuck?
Because it was cancer.
What the fuck?
Which would also be cured for the most part with a healthy diet and exercise.
No, that's not how cancer works.
It's 100% how cancer works.
Not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, that's not how cancer works.
100%. If you're fucking cancer is by and large increased because of a product of its environment, air pollution, poisonous food, fucking.
So you want him to go jogging in the poisoned air?
I want no more poison air. Have real air, real food, real abilities to communicate, and 90% of all of the bullshit we have to deal with will be gone. And then 10% we have fucking piles of money to throw at that shit because people aren't getting caught up in the system, sitting at home, fucking smoking weed, taking fucking Adderall, playing fucking Call of Duty and not working.
It just clicked. You're like a severe smoker. Yeah. And you're like mad about cancer.
Fuck cancer. And you know what? When I get lung cancer, I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm just going to keep smoking cigarettes quietly like a man, going to work until I'm dead.
I hope we're still doing this when you get cancer, and you will forget about this conversation, and I'll bring it up.
No, I'm going to take my fucking mask off and light my smoke and blow us both up. Yeah.
I thought you were going to one cigarette in the throat, one in the mouth.
Yeah, I can just fucking double dip now. Fuck you, Patrick. Fuck you, Patrick. Do whatever I want. And fucking, that's your throat. That's throat cancer. We don't get that in my family. Just lung.
Just lung?
Just lung.
Oh,
lung and stomach.
Lung and stomach. Oh, because you guys eat when you smoke?
Yeah, well, poisonous food.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, we keep missing the most crucial point, which is this door. And again, I understand your point of those being rated in a different system psychologically, but if you start talking about how I feel is to be a man or a woman, how I feel is to be black, white, whatever the other colors are, how I feel is to be this animal, how I feel is to be this able, you can't stop that now. Regardless of if 0.01% of the trans community is actually affected by a mental condition they had no fucking sway over.
I don't think the trans community includes the people who are transracial and shit.
Yeah, but you can't stop that because the argument will now and forever will be, well, your feelings mattered, so why don't mine?
So
where do you draw that line in the sand?
You want me to? I'll talk about something.
Okay. Well, here's my last.
Finish your thing.
This statement because it keeps getting spun up.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is that a lot of us, as collective, have feelings of being a certain way at certain times, all just throughout our lives, or wish we were something else, whatever the case. For simplicity's sake and to avoid confrontation and just to make life a little bit easier, you have two choices. you're born a certain way. Be happy in your body. If you want to do the fucking work and you do the work and you want to make a change, or you're born with a condition, make the fucking change. But like, it stops there. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, to stop all the weird shit bringing up, we should just do bullying.
Bring bullying back.
Bring bullying back. You want something funny? Okay. The SJWs fucking hate this one being brought up and stuff, then they ignore it. But historically speaking, natives, what they did in their village, whenever a kid would be fucking weird or would act a certain way that wasn't good, they would drag them in the center of the village and they'd have everyone in the village bully them. So that they would like change their behavior. They would humiliate them.
Humiliate them to the point where their spirit just broke and they gave up?
They gave up and then they like got straight back. I think we should do that.
Maybe
I
that's
think,
a little far.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty fucking intense to put a little kid. That's bad. No.
No. Listen to my point here. Okay. There's a point.
I'm listening.
Okay. Someone, they truly fucking believe they're a koala.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not a fucking koala. So there's two options, right? There's actually three. You let them pretend they're a fucking koala. Yeah. You pill them up to fix it, or you drag them in front of their peers and strangers and then just hammer home that they're not a fucking koala.
What's the difference between pilling up the koala man or pilling up a transgender?
It's because it's a different type of mental health problem in the DSM.
But can it be corrected? Well, we're using
No,
with medication?
No, it won't, because the transgender one is not a delusion. It's miscross in the brain when it comes to knowing your gender. It's the exact same one as it's the exact same. You have all your fingers. Okay. People who lose limbs.
Yeah.
They can still feel, like, say you lose your finger.
Yeah.
You can
phantom pain.
They still feel the finger. They have a phantom thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same part of the brain when it comes to people who are genuinely transgender.
They have phantom penises?
They have phantom penis. Or and they believe that a certain part of their body is not belonging to them. This actually happens to limbs and stuff. So sometimes people who have that same problem will end up chopping off their own arm because they feel like that's...
So then being transabled fits into that same section.
No.
Yes.
No.
Those
It's a different thing.
Same.
No, they're not. The trans-able people are people who are like, I identify as a blind person. Now, someone who has that phantom thing in their head will be like, this eye that I have is a parasite, is someone else's eye. It's not mine. And so they like stab it out. The person who thinks they're like, I identify as a blind person. They know it's their eyes. It's their eyes. They don't think it's someone else's eye. They don't think it's a parasite. They just identify as someone who's blind. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So it's a different thing in terms of how the brain chemistry works.
Yeah.
So people who have transgender are the same people who have like the phantom.
Have transgender.
Whatever. I'm saying stuff really quick.
We're trying to keep you entertained.
I know. Yeah. So it's the same thing as people who have those phantom limbs or believe that a limb is a parasite or that kind of stuff.
Is the same wiring misfire as that in the brains of people with gender dysmorphia?
Yes. Is the same
so
one.
Do you understand why confusion and desire for clarity in stating that those two then would be the same? Like if it's the same mechanism in the brain that's causing this leg has to come off because it belongs to fucking, so-and-so from 100 years ago, and I need to have a real penis to feel like a human being.
Yeah. Those are the same.
Yeah.
It's the same misfire. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Can the people with the fucking phantom thing be treated with medication?
No.
This is always going to be fucking someone else's leg?
It's always going to be someone else's leg because it's the wiring in the brain that's kind of messed up. And most of the time, even if you medicate them, they'll, even if they take the medication every day type deal, eventually like the feeling gets too much.
So what's treatment for them? Is to just let them...
They amputate normally. Because doctors...
It better not be covered.
Well, that's the thing. It's not covered. So
Whoa.
It's not covered.
Juicy.
I know.
Why not, Patrick?
Why isn't it? Because it's considered mutilation.
Whoa.
I know.
What the definition of mutilation is.
You see, here's the thing. I could have just said whatever to win the argument, but I'm not because I like to play with it. I'm also a contrarian.
Yeah. Patrick identifies as a cat.
Meow. So it's not
That's
covered.
the fucking grossest thing I've ever seen another human do.
Meow.
Stop it.